What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over 8 powerful commands that most system administrators never touch. When you finally learn them, they'll completely change how you troubleshoot, secure, and manage the system. So once again, today I'm going to be showing you 8 uncommon Linux commands that can level up your workflow. I'll explain how they work, show a couple optional flags, and walk you through the real output so nothing is left unexplained. Let's go ahead and get started. The first command we're going to go over is the ncdu command. It's the disk usage visualizer. All right, so you're going to do first apt install ncdu or dnf install, depending on the distribution you're running. I am currently in a CentOS machine, so we're going to do ncdu / etc to look at the etc directory. All right. Now you can see it's an interactive version of, you can see it's an interactive disk visualizer. So we can see exactly how much space each directory is taking. And we can go up and down with the arrow keys. We can hit enter to go inside of the directory and look at the subdirectories and keep hitting enter, or we can go backspace to go back. And there's a couple other things we can do. We can do N. You can literally just type the letter N for alphabetical order by name. You can also hit the question mark to show you a couple of options of how you can sort the items. So we already showed you N for sorting by name, ascending to descending order. We can also sort by size. Let's go all the way up. And you see as we go up, it's getting bigger and bigger. And then /udev directory in the within the etc directory is taking up the most amount of space. Okay, let's create I don't want to delete any standard directories. So let's create a directory. Where are we at? Working directory. Working directory. Let's go to /etc. And let's create a directory animals. Let's go right back into the ncdu command and the /etc directory. And let's sort by N. Let's go all the way up so we can see proof of concept. Now we see the /animals directory that we just created. It has nothing inside. We can just hit the letter D to delete it. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to delete animals directory? And we'll hit yes, and then it deletes. Now keep in mind, if you don't have the correct permissions in the directory, it will not delete. So if I was running as a regular user doesn't have the correct permissions for the /etc directory, so it would not allow me to delete. Make sure you have the proper permissions when editing these files. All right, so the next command we're going to look at is TLDR. It's a simplified version of the manual pages of the man command. So we'll do TLDR tar just to show you what the command does. And it basically shows you some basic syntax on using the tar command. You see tar cf at the top, creates an archive and writes it to a file, path to target.tar, path to file 1, path to file 2. And this command is really good when you're using very syntax heavy commands like sed or awk that are a little bit complicated to use. You can see sed here. We did TLDR sed. And you can see sed is a command that is used to replace certain words within files. And then awk, the awk command is used to, I'll show you. And of course, the awk command is used to output some information from a file. So commands like this have a lot of syntax to it. So you can use the TLDR command to quickly just find out some quick options for the awk command or the sed command or any other command you're trying to run. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. Let's move on to the next command. The lsof command, it lists open files. It's one of the more important but lesser used troubleshooting commands. So let's do lsof -i. Let's look at 80. All right. and we see port 80. Okay, and we see that the LSOF command is going to be showing us every open network file descriptor that is using port 80. So Linux basically treats network connections as files, so LSOF lists each open socket separately. So each row corresponds to the process, the file descriptor, and the socket connection. We can see the command, nginx on the left side, the PID, the user, and then the file descriptor is going to tell you the permissions for the file. And you see it's using TCP and it's listening. All right, let's move on to, let's clear the screen first and move on to the htop command. So you can see everything just popped up on my screen. The htop command is advanced usage for the top command. It's basically a interactive, well, the top command is it's still interactive, but it's a more colorful version of the top command. And you can kind of see here, of course, we can go to a process and you can see we can lower or increase the nice value. So we see the nice value. Let's see. F8. We're increasing the nice value. You can see the number moving up in the nice value column. Oh, we just lost it. But we can increase and decrease the nice value by using F7 and F6. You can see at the bottom. We can also see the process tree. And then we can also kill commands through this as well using F9. And then quit, you can use Q or you can do F10. All right, you can also search with F3. Let's search for Elastic. And you can find the Elastic search process through this. Cancel. And then we hit Q for quit. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. So the journalctl command. This is a classic command for troubleshooting. You can use this command to troubleshoot some processes that are having problems starting up by looking at their logs. You can also look at, let's go ahead and show you a proof of concept. We'll look at the boot logs and we'll look at boot messages. So tech B, tech N, 50. Oh, I just spelled it wrong. Journal CTL, and this shows us the boot messages. Okay, we can scroll down and it tells us exactly what's going on, when what's happening when it's booted up, when the system is booted up. We can also do this for other stuff. Journal CTL, tag F. For follow the logs, SSHD. I spelled that wrong. Let's do SSHD. Again. SSHD. All right. Yeah, so if someone was currently logging into the process, logging in by SSH, we'll see the logs for SSH pop up right here. So let's just quit out of that, clear the screen, move on to the next command. Sorry, let's go over one more option for the journalctl command. So journalctl tech P ERR. So this is going to filter by priority for errors. So systemd has its own way of determining what's a higher priority for errors. And this will basically show you the top priority for errors. Let's quit out of that, clear the screen. Now let's move on to the atop command. So the atop command is a whole bunch of information that popped up on the screen, but the atop command is extremely similar to the top command. The only difference is that this is going to show you a historical analysis of the processes and what's going on underneath the system. So the top command is going to show you what's currently going on, but the atop command can actively go backwards and show you what has happened before in the system. So it's a good way to find out what happened before, what went wrong with your system before, what was taking up the most amount of space, why your system crashed before, etc., etc. Okay, moving on to the next command, we're going to go over the fuser command. So this command is going to identify what's using a file or a specific port. So, for example, we can do fuser dash v 22 TCP, and it shows us obviously SSH is using this as using port 22, and this can help you troubleshoot processes if more than one process is using the same port. This will help you find out which process is using that port. All right, so the final command that we have is the links command. So the links command is going to be used in a situation where you do not have access to the graphical user interface. So this is going to be when you only have access to the text based browser. So let's do links and let's do HTTPS. It'll basically print out a web page for you. Okay, so now that this is loaded up, we can see a bunch of information. We can press space to go to the next page and use the arrow keys to move around. Also use question mark. And the left space to go back. All right, so you can use either Q to quit. You can also use / to search, and we can also print this out to a file by we can type P and then save to a local file. You can also mail the file, print to the screen, print out to a printer. We're going to save to a local file. File name is going to be, you can see at the bottom, kernel.org. Let's quit. Yes. ls, and then we see kernel.org is right there. And that's 8 uncommon Linux commands that can seriously enhance your system administration workflow. These tools are going to give you a lot more visibility, more control, and more power in your Linux environment. If you guys want more of a deep dive in Linux tutorials, please make sure to drop a comment down below, as well as like and subscribe. Thank you.